I think that most people understand at this point that we just saw a massive increase in taxes at the end of the year. The president got what he wanted, huge tax increases. And if you think about it, when we're running deficits of over $1 trillion a year, and the question under the sequester, a proposal that came from the White House that he put forward to have a 2% reduction, which is really just a reduction in the growth of government, but a 2% reduction. That's not a tremendous amount of money, but it would get us back on the glide path towards a balanced budget. This is why, from our standpoint, we would like to see that 2% done more rationally. We've twice passed legislation into the Senate to rationally allocate those cuts, but the Senate hasn't taken up a budget for 4 years, so we don't have a partner there. So now we're looking at legislation that would give the president the authorization to make the cuts in the bureaucracy, in the government agencies, or reduce that rate of growth. A more rational approach than this one. So we all agree that this approach is not the best approach, but it originated in the White House. And now we have the White House saying, no, rather than this, we want to have further tax increases. He does not want to cut spending on anything, and that's a big problem given the trajectory.
Congressman Royce, when you put together these spending cuts, plus the ones that were taken back in 2011 and the tax increases from earlier this year, you get pretty close to that $4 trillion in deficit reduction that was part of the so-called grand bargain idea of a couple of years ago. How worried are you that level of fiscal tightening is going to affect the economy dramatically and cost jobs?
Here's what I think the market was worried about, and that is the uncertainty created by deficits that just seem to compound. A $16 trillion debt now that over the last 4 years has ramped up at an incredible rate of speed. What this is actually doing is sending the message, if we can manage just a 2% reduction, that at least we can turn the corner and we can bring that glide path back down towards balance. And I think that reassures the market. I think that brings money in off the sidelines where they say it might be the case that they're going to change that appetite for ever more reckless spending. And you noticed the concern that economists have raised with this being unsustainable. They say 10 years out, you could have an implosion if we don't change this course. So this now begins to do that. I just wish we could reach an agreement where they're targeted, like the legislation we've passed over in the Senate. And we're still working to try to target the cuts.
All right, Congressman Royce, thank you very much for being with us this evening.
Thanks for the opportunity.
We appreciate it. And coming up, we take a look at things that are working and not working in the U.S. economy. In focus, the American recovery. Now let's take a look at how the markets fared overseas this day.